If a criminal suspect is involved in drill music and then posting online, that could be very useful for convictions in serious crimes, could it not?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious when we're separating from instances where there's actual evidence towards a crime and instances when there isn't, that we shouldn't be using instances where it isn't. We're talking about a situation where I kind of feel like we're asking, like, should prosecutors be able to attach what is essentially a racist media campaign to a defendant's character? And I think, of course, we shouldn't. So,
Jen, this really could lead to unfair convictions, couldn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think for anyone that's involved with the drill music of passing on information about the crimes that they've committed are using it as something to be proud of, something to advertise, something to publish. And a lot of these lyrics are true. Yes, there's a lot of people that make up lyrics, but there is factual ones that are true, that have come across about incidents that have happened, and they've gone out and people are listening to them and admiring them.
So this is glorifying crime and in some cases murder. Novar, what do you make of that?
I mean, I agree with Jen there, but I think what we're not differentiating here is that this think tank is specifically talking about situations where the fact they're a drill artist is not relevant. Like, we have drill artists who are actually, I think the problem is, should be able to use their music as a character reference in a positive light, for the fact that they're coming away from that kind of lifestyle and doing something positive with their life, becoming members of society, creating jobs. If there are situations, which of course we know there are, where they're talking about specific crimes and murder, then that is evidence. Of course, that should be able to be used in court. That's a whole different situation.
So drill lyrics, is not fair to say, look, drill lyrics basically is all about featuring violence and really glorifying this then. So that's not true.
Unless it's specific violence related to the crime.
Fair enough, isn't that, Jen? If it's specifically related to a crime, then therefore that should be used as evidence.
Yeah, but also, how is it positive to young people to see that TikTok have got their drill charts, and quite a few of them in the top 10 are convicted murderers, rapists, etc.? How is that giving young people something to look up to? Because that just says to them that, well, if they do it and they've got to be famous, then surely that's not a bad thing.
Is that true, Novar?
I don't think that it paints that. I think because when we're talking about murderers, rapists who are in prison, if they're in any kind of TikTok chart right now for music that they did before that, they're not staying there for long, and they shouldn't be. They're where they're supposed to be if they've been convicted of those crimes. Artists like Digga D is my problem with this whole situation here, who's clearly been targeted by the media, by the police, who actually really is a person who's running a very successful pop music career, because he's basically a pop star at this point, and he's being targeted constantly for being associated with a genre, and he's just trying to get on with his life. He's not a murderer or any of these things. So, you know, he's a person who's going to continue to be in that chart and continue to have a flourishing career. People who are sitting in jail for murder are not going to continue to have flourishing careers.
So, Jen, this could be a force for good.
No, that's not true. That's not true, because there are gangs that are in prison and they are making, producing, releasing music whilst in prison. They're singing lyrics which is premeditated about what they're going to do when they come out of prison, and this is being allowed.
Where's it being allowed, Jen? How are people able to listen to that?
I haven't seen any examples of that.
Ask Jen, how can youngsters listen to that sort of music that's being produced by criminals, convicted people in prison?
Because they've got contacts and the music is produced and written in prison, and then through whatever contacts or how they do it, but it has happened, and I've been in the papers before with articles about this. And how is that possible? How is that allowed to happen? And how are these people put on pedestals? There was another guy recently that I'd done a thing on, who had gone into prison. He'd murdered. He was doing drill music. He ended up getting 30k for making music in prison, and he was pushed up with so many followers because he was idolised. These are young people's minds that are being polluted. Why does music have to have negativity, weapons, guns, you know, anything negative that is polluting young minds? And I've heard your song as well. And again, there's, you know, it's all promoting being a gangster. I don't get it.
No, whose song? Mine?
Yeah.
I don't have any songs promoting being a gangster, and that just really, really clearly shows that you're coming at this from a very biased point of view, because I'm not from that world. I'm not a drill artist. I don't make songs about being a gangster.
Yeah, but what about the content of your lyrics, though, Novar? Obviously, you've been challenged by those, but how do you defend your lyrics, then?
Yeah, I'd love to hear them quoted, because I don't make any music to do with that kind of thing. So anyone watching my
what was the white-collared, sorry, it's white-collared something?
Yeah,
white-collared gangster, was it?
White collar hooligan. Do you know what, that's a completely opposite side. That's a completely opposite side of the spectrum. That's a song I made for a film about football hooligans that was made for a film. And this brings me to another thing. I'm playing a character in that song to fit into a white football hooligan narrative that's completely the opposite to this. And
that's what young people will see.
No, but the actors in that film in those films wouldn't have the character that they're playing in their film brought up in a trial that they're going to in court either.
I know so many young people that are listening to songs that their parents don't allow them to listen to, but they are, and they're getting information. You've got people like Westwood who's promoting these people. You know, they are known murderers. When I spoke to him, he quoted that it was all an expression of art. This is not an expression of art, polluting, when you've got 5-year-olds quoting songs about how they stab someone.
Okay, Jen, just a quick thought then. I totally understand your perspective of this, but there is an element of this risking marginalising and criminalising people over their music taste and cultural preferences, doesn't it?
Well, I just think that no one needs the negativity. I don't think polluting children's young minds and idolising people that are murderers and rapists, I can't see that there's anything positive in that whatsoever. All that does is send a negative message to young people that, yeah, you can idolise these people, but they've committed murders, they've committed rape, and that we're putting them on a pedestal.
Novar, just finally, Novar, it seems you seem to do, or need to do quite a lot of work to improve the image of your genre of music.
It's not even my genre of music, but I completely agree with that. We shouldn't be putting those people on a pedestal. I don't think any rapists are put on any kind of pedestal in that genre of music or respected in that community. But I think we need to change the narrative about what's happening with these young people and work out a way of supporting them. And I think music is a way to support them in order for them to do something with their lives. We need to look at the root of these causes. We need to look at also, even when these people are in prison, we need to look at the prison system, and it needs to rehabilitate more.